Okay, good morning. Welcome everyone to our weekly board session. It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. It's 9:11. We're in the Senator hearing room at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you would please join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have two people signed up for public comment, so I'm going to call up Travis Goldberg first. Is Travis here? I don't see anybody. No? Okay. So Dan, come on down. If you want to just go to that chair there and introduce yourself for the record. And thanks for coming.
Thank you. My name is Dan Farrington. I live at 523 Northwest Heather Place in Sublimity, Oregon, and I just wanted to come and introduce myself as the candidate for the Republican Party for House District 17, and just wanted to let you guys know that. I know both of you well, but just access to be in communication, and wanted to introduce myself to the public too. So thank you.
Thanks for coming, and congratulations on your recent win in the primary.
Thank you.
So you're now the nominee going into the general election, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, well, if you win that race, I'm sure we'll be interested in working with you.
Yeah.
I'm from Staten, so I have great interest in you being successful in that position.
Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Bethel, do you want to move the consent agenda?
Yes, I move to approve the consent agenda under Clerk's Office, approve a contract for services with Trifacta Incorporated in the not-to-exceed amount of $320,000 to perform the personnel administration for Marion County seasonal election workers through June 30th, 2029. Under Health and Human Services, approve Amendment Number 6 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Human Services to add $164,139.84 for a new IGA total of $548,239.68 to extend the term date to June 30th, 2027 for housing placement and case management services to support families referred by ODHS in obtaining and maintaining stable housing. And approve Amendment Number 8 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to increase funding in the amount of $522,682 for a new IGA total of $8,546,994.83 and add to the IGA program elements PE 82 Rural Health Transformation Program and PE 82-01 Rural Health Transformation Program for the Local Public Health Authority transformation through June 30th, 2027. Under Public Works, approve a general service contract with Pacific Power in the amount of $182,617 for the installation of three-phase industrial electric service for the Mill City wastewater treatment facility with an ending term date of 60 days after service begins. And approve an order for the acceptance of 4 roads as identified in Exhibit A and Exhibit B in the Marion County road system. And approve an order to establish a policy for requests for private parties to pave Marion County maintained gravel roads, and approve a temporary construction easement that authorizes the City of Salem and their contractors to cross a reserved strip of land on Judy Avenue Northeast located within Marion County's jurisdiction until the city's improvement to McKay Park have been completed. And approve Amendment Number 10 to the contract for services with Radio Technology Services to add $100,000 to update hourly billing rates for project management services, technical field services, field inspection services, and administrative services for a new not-to-exceed contract total of $1,060,000 for the Marion County Radio System Project that will be utilized by first responders through December 31st, 2026, and approve the construction contract with Specialized Pavement Markings, LLC in the amount of $187,293.20 for the installation of longitudinal pavement markings on Orville Road South and Vita Springs Road South through June 30th, 2027. Under the Sheriff's Office, approve the contract for services with locumtenens.com LLC in the not to exceed amount of $586,000 $800 to provide psychiatric nurse practitioners and physicians at the Marion County Jail and the Marion County Juvenile Department facilities through June 30th, 2029. And approve the contract for services with DPI Security in the not-to-exceed amount of $914,284.80 to provide court services, security services for Marion County courts through June 30th, 2028. Under Treasurer's Office, approve an order for the distribution of Oregon State Forestry timber revenues as referenced in Exhibit 8 in the amount of $2,509,014.42 per ORS Chapter 530. And approve orders to increase the change funds at the following Marion County disposal sites due to the implementation of a new operating system and updated cash handling procedures for each scale attendant. Browns Island Demolition Landfill, increase from 500 to 1,000. North Marion Recycling and Transfer Station, increase from 800 to 1,600. And Salem Kaiser Recycling and Transfer Station, increase from 1,300 to 2,600.
And I will second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, next up, Carol, we're going to consider approval of amendment number 1 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to reduce grant funding for the operation of drug addiction treatment and recovery services. Tell us all about it, Carol.
Good morning.
Morning.
For the record, Carol Hurd, Marion County Health and Human Services. I am here today requesting approval of amendment number 1 to the intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Health Authority for the Drug Treatment and Recovery Services Fund, also known as the Behavioral Health Resource Network Grant for Substance Use Treatment Services. This amendment reduces the original $9.5 million grant awarded last year by $997,500, a 14% reduction of the remaining 3 years of the agreement, for a new total of $8,502,500. This reduction is based on lower than anticipated marijuana tax revenues. Some background on how this funding has evolved. As you are aware, in 2020, Oregon voters passed Ballot Measure 110, which decriminalized the possession of small amounts of controlled substances and also established a funding mechanism that allocates marijuana tax revenues to support substance use disorder treatment and recovery services for individuals seeking treatment. In 2022, the Oregon Health Authority, through the Oversight and Accountability Council, allocated just over $20 million to 6 provider organizations in Marion County, establishing the Marion Region Behavioral Health Resource Network. These initial grants covered an 18-month period from July 2022 through December 2023, and were extended to increase the capacity, and were intended to increase the capacity of local providers to serve individuals with substance use disorders. Services supported with this funding included SUD screening, intervention, assessment, low barrier treatment, peer support services, housing assistance, and harm reduction services, regardless of an individual's ability to pay. Many providers used these funds to expand staffing and resources, increasing access to services for underserved and harder to reach populations outside the central Salem area. Following the initial grant period, OHA allocated additional funding and extended the agreements for an additional 18 months, resulting in a total grant period of 3 years. In the fall of 2024, OHA released a request for grant application for drug treatment and recovery services funding for July 2025 through June of 29. Initially, 17 organizations submitted applications to provide substance use disorder services in Marion County, including several organizations who were not located in the county. In early 2025, following several meetings of the Oversight and Accountability Council, ultimately 13 organizations were selected to provide services in Marion County. This more than doubled the number of providers initially funded in the previous grant. The total allocation for Marion County under this 4-year grant period was calculated at just over $28.7 million to be distributed among the 13 approved organizations. This created challenges as the funding was to be divided among a larger number of organizations, and as a result, many of the Marion County burn partner agencies faced significant funding reductions, placing the service expansions and capacity building efforts achieved during the initial grant period at risk. For example, Marion County Health and Human Services had submitted a proposed budget of approximately $15.5 million to maintain the expanded services supporting substance use disorder screenings, assessments, treatment, and peer support services. This proposal was consistent with funding received during the initial the initial 3-year grant period. However, throughout multiple rounds of Oversight and Accountability Council review, the Health and Human Services proposed funding allocation was reduced to as low as $2.8 million, and then later to $3.4 million for the 4-year grant period. Such a significant reduction from the proposed budget would have substantially impacted the department's ability to maintain service levels, threatened the sustainability of previous expansion efforts, and undermined the intent of Measure 110's increase to access to substance use disorder treatment and recovery services. The proposed funding reduction of established providers in Marion County generated significant concern among various stakeholders, including local service providers and our Board of Commissioners, who strongly advocated for greater transparency regarding the funding methodology, particularly that some of the out-of-area organizations, several of which also received funding in multiple counties, were initially awarded grants that substantially exceeded those of established local providers. Following extensive advocacy efforts and further review, the Oversight and Accountability Council revised its original funding allocations. As a result, Health and Human Services received a final award of approximately $9.5 million for the 4-year grant period. This was still a reduction of the original proposed budget. However, it did allow the department to maintain critical services and preserve much of the capacity developed through the initial burn investment. What we do know with the reduction in funding that has taken place, the 14% reduction in funding that has taken place for these next 3 years, it's impacting all of the burn providers that are in Marion County, and we have a number of provider organizations that are having to significantly reduce the amount of services that they are able to provide based on their original budget. So there's a lot of services that are being reduced there. We've been able to, for the most part, sustain our services. We will be having to reduce the number of positions that we're funding through this grant moving forward, but we were able to make those reductions from vacancies. So we are not actually impacting the number of staff who are providing those services, and therefore not necessarily impacting the number of clients that we're currently serving. It does impact the ability for us to provide services to additional clients, but we are able to maintain our current services. Any questions?
That was very comprehensive.
Well, she's providing it for me because I'm very frustrated, as usual, with the Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Legislature and the Governor's Office and their severe incompetence when it comes to the crisis they created and the ability to get out of it and funding the system appropriately. The 14% reduction could have been 28% statewide to every program. And we had a great advocate in Commissioner Trigger from Lane County that sits on the statewide opioid board.
Lane County or Washington County?
Lane County.
Trigger.
Lori Trigger.
Lori Trigger.
Yeah, not Pam Treese, but Lori Trigger.
Okay.
Anyway, she sits on the opioid council, which distributes the opioid funds that the state is receiving, and she advocated for the portion that they have in the bank to go to shore up some of the reductions in the marijuana funding, which is great because 28% would have really been a severe impact to services. While we have the ability to pivot differently because our system is so large and we are a government, it would have shuttered the doors of several organizations, including 2 brand new ones here in Marion County that serve culturally specific communities. Carol, I'm glad that you came. I'm sure a lot of people don't really understand what you just said. The short end of it is that we have less money to provide addiction treatment services to people in need when they're present and ready right now because of this. And I'm frustrated is probably not the right word, but for this room, it's what you're going to get. But I'm grateful that we have a team doing the work that we're doing, and we have creativity to be able to blend systems to work to our advantage.
So,
And it's a credit to your team, Carol, that you can take a hit like this and continue to provide services to the folks that you have been providing services to.
We have a great team who is very invested in being able to provide services to our community, so I agree with you.
I'm sure there's lots of flexibility that was required.
Mhm.
It's hard to take $1 million hit to your
Yes.
budget, and
Yes, it is.
yeah, so, okay.
yeah, I do actually have a question.
Sure.
So when we entered into this last year, they extended the contract by an additional year, so they went from 3 years to 4 years,
Mhm.
which hops a biennium. So isn't there an assumed projection coming in the 2027 legislative session about revenues? And is there a clause in the contract that allows them to pivot around a reduction in funding or an increase in funding?
That I don't know off the top of my head. I know that this funding is intended to go through the remaining 3 years of the grant. I imagine if there is a shift in available funding, we'll be back again with another amendment.
Are you paying attention to the Oversight and Opportunity Council's meetings?
I am.
Can you just let me know if they decide to do something wild again?
Yeah. At this point, the function of the Oversight and Accountability Council is an advisory council to Oregon Health Authority.
I do know that they got their teeth inked out through some, thank God for Washington County, actually, and we partnered with legislation to modify that, but there's still a persuasive body.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I move to approve amendment number 1 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to reduce grant funding for the operation of drug addiction treatment and recovery services in the amount of $997,500 for a new not-to-exceed IGA total of $8,502,500 effective July 1st, 2026.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I see Commander Ramsey back there. Come on down. We're going to consider approval of a contract for services with Trinity Services Group in the not-to-exceed amount of $5,015,624.22 to provide food services for adults in custody. Good morning,
Good
Commander.
Commissioners. Jacob Ramsey, for the record. I am the Marion County Jail Commander, and I am here today to ask approval to approve a contract for services with Trinity Food Services Group to provide food services for our staff and our adults in custody at the Marion County Jail. Put together a little brief PowerPoint here to discuss some of the changes. In March of this year, we went out for RFP, and 3 companies submitted proposals. Trinity Food Services Group Incorporated was awarded the contract of those 3 vendors. This contract provides food services for adults in custody and jail staff starting July 1 of this year through June 30th of 2029, and it has options for yearly renewal through June 30th of 2032. Sorry. So the yearly contract total is $1,671,874. I said that wrong. And then the 3-year.
I'm going to read it later, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm no good with numbers. And then the 3-year contract total is right at $5 million. So I wanted to talk about, we do see an increase from previous years. We've contracted with Trinity Food Services Group for roughly 8 years, and they were awarded this current contract. And there was some increase in the food service prices. A lot of that is simply just inflation, but we did ask for some upgrades in the food service, not only for the adults in custody, but for our jail staff. And so here's our AIC regular meal price is about $3 a meal. We're serving around 473,000 meals to AICs a year. Sack lunches, these are just meals that go for people on transports and stuff. They're about 11,000 a year. And we serve about 28,000 staff meals a year.
On those transports, are those exclusive to Marion County?
Yes,
Not any of the transfers that come through?
correct.
Okay.
So here's some of the increases that we asked for in our proposal. So in the current menu, what we were providing, we weren't providing daily fruit to the AICs, so we're upgrading. We're now going to be offering fruit at each meal daily. We upgraded some of the qualities of the food. So for our vegetables, we were serving grade B 3 times a day. We're now going to be serving grade A vegetables 3 times a day. For the morning breakfast, we were serving a dairy drink packet. And so now we're going to be providing a milk carton for breakfast every day. And then another example is we were serving white bread, which actually is a good program. The AICs make all of the bread in-house, so they are learning some skills. But we're now switching to whole grain breads, and we'll be serving those a couple times a day. And then we're looking to offer a low sodium diet to our adults in custody.
Commander, could you go back a slide? I just want to see these are the prices for the improved
Yes.
meal, is that right?
Yeah. Well, another one of the changes that we made is we were serving what's known as mechanically separated poultry. We're going to go to a more actual meat product, so ground turkey is what we're looking at serving to the AICs.
What is a what did you say?
Mechanically separated poultry.
I'll look it up.
So it's, think of a chicken nugget.
Oh, so it's like
Yes.
grinded.
So it's processed,
Okay.
more processed.
Okay.
And then see, these are some of the, I just took a few of these. So we're basing our diet off of a 2,800 minimum calorie diet a day for an adult. And then you can see some of the requirements that we have as far as the protein and fiber. It got way down into the weeds with this, with
Is that
vitamins and
56
minerals.
grams per meal or per day?
Per day.
Wow. Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Pretty proud of this. I think that this is going to be great for the people that we serve in our jail and for our community. I don't think we'll see any immediate results, but over time, I think we're going to be providing, when somebody comes into our custody and we release them, whether that be to the streets and to our community, my hope is that we're releasing them healthier than when they came in.
Yeah, that's great.
It also impacts behavior,
Yes.
right? This is an extensive conversation. There's going to be people on both sides of this who love it and hate it because that's the county and the world we live in. But I think not only do I think it's important that we take care of people when they're strictly in our custody and they have no other options, but I also think it's important for workplace safety to work to minimize bad behaviors. And well, you can talk about it more as an expert than I, but just listening to you and your team talk, I support the desire to reduce bad behavior.
Yes. There's very few things that when someone is in custody that they can look forward to. And knowing that you're going to have, even if it's a perceived healthy meal, and feel full throughout that day when you've got nothing else to do, that in and of itself, I believe, can change behaviors. We all eat every day. Most of us look forward to our meals. That's what we're trying to accomplish is a person who is at least somewhat satisfied throughout the day and not hungry and not malnourished.
Yeah, reducing anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, I move to approve a contract for services with Trinity Services Group in the not-to-exceed amount of $5,015,624.22 to provide food services for adults in custody and jail staff at the Marion County Jail through June 30th, 2029.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I'm just going to say for the record that this was an RFP. There was a request for proposal, and this was the best product and price for the public procurement process you went through, right? Yeah. Okay.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, I am now going to open a first public hearing to consider petition for the formation of the Mount Angel Monitor Fire District. Welcome, Andrew.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Andrew Mittendorf, Assistant Legal Counsel for Marion County. Thank you for being here this morning, and this is my first presentation to you in a board session, and
Welcome.
yeah, thank you. This is for the formation of the Mount Angel Monitor Fire District. It currently are two different districts, Mount Angel and Monitor, and the proposal is to dissolve both of them and to reform as one unified fire district. The hearing today is to hear public comment as required by ORS, and then at the end, the board will need to consider criteria established by ORS, whether or not this will benefit this area, and establish the boundaries and the name of the fire district. If it proceeds today, there will be a second hearing that will need to take place as required by ORS, and the order that will result from today's hearing will establish that second hearing. There are representatives from both fire districts as well as the fire district's attorney that's here today to assist in this presentation. And I'd just like to say for the record that Mr. Truman Stone, who's the attorney for the districts, who you'll be hearing from here in a little bit, has been a great partner in assisting us through this process, as it's been a big learning curve for the clerk's office, for legal counsel, the board's office, and he's been a great partner in all of this.
Great.
I actually have a question before Andrew steps away. Can you
Okay.
tell me how the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners and legal jurisdiction participates in a process, since this is a shared jurisdiction?
Yeah, great question, Commissioner. The ORS establishes that there's a principal county, and because most of the district will reside in Marion County Board of Commissioners takes the point on it, and there is no involvement from the Clackamas County Board of Commissioners in this process because it's happening here. Now, that being said, when it goes for a vote, people in Clackamas County, in Monitor, and in Mount Angel current districts will obviously vote on their respective ballot measures for dissolution as well as for the formation. But the process is taking place here in Marion County because under the ORS, we are deemed to be the principal county.
But this impacts several other special districts in Clackamas County, right? I mean, based on the list that I mean, the answer is yes, based on the list that's been provided to me. And I'm fine to be the principal commission, but I'm less fine just being the sole decision maker without participating in some type of dialogue with our peers in the Clackamas County Commission. So I guess whoever's coming to make a presentation to us needs to tell us what you're doing to communicate to them and what their position is, or I guess I can reach out to them myself. But it does matter to me to be good stewards and partners of our neighboring jurisdiction and their board.
Well, my understanding is that any decision will be made by the voters, isn't that right?
Well, we solely get to say that this goes forward or not today. We have a decision to kind of move it along or not. Clackamas County Board of Commissioners, because we're the primary board, has no say in that. And we didn't, there's been no process that I have been apprised to that has allowed them to have a say, to communicate to us, they're not here today. And I just think if somebody was trying to make a significant change and a cost change in my jurisdiction and they left my voice out, I would be not happy about that. And I think the voters who elected me to this seat would be also unhappy about that. And so I think it's really important that everybody that's elected to the role to serve their community has a right to participate and is informed, and that we respect that they too are, it could have been them, I guess.
Yep.
They could leave us out, which I would like.
Okay.
So I just want to be respectful of their role.
Understand. And we could also potentially send an invitation to them for the second hearing if that's something that would be beneficial. Whether they come or not, that's a different question.
I just think we need to be communicating as much as possible with everybody that will be impacted by this, and not just to the minimum standard. We do things to the maximum standard here when it comes to changes, especially when it comes to cost. We do that with all of our land use hearings. We go further than the neighbors type of a thing, and I just want to make sure that we're putting our best effort in. So unless Commissioner Willis has an objection to us inviting those commissioners to come to that, I
Not at
think
all.
we should do that.
Okay.
Great.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I will now turn it over to the fire district chiefs and their attorney.
Okay.
Come on down and go ahead and introduce yourself for the record. And you can pull up another chair if you'd like there.
Sure. Well, good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for having us here. Jim Truweiler, Fire Chief, Mount Angel Fire District, 300 Monroe Street, Mount Angel, Oregon.
My name is William Nightingale. I'm the fire chief for Monitor Fire District at 15240 Woodburn Monitor Road Northeast, Woodburn, Oregon.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you. I know him.
Okay, so what I have for you guys here is a presentation. I mean, we can go into really deep depth, but what I brought here today is the community presentation we use when we start going out and talking to the communities. And it's just a good picture of the situation that we're facing and what we're up against. And so I'll just pretty much just follow this here. So what this does, it combines Mount Angel Fire District and Monitor Rural Fire Protection District into one unified district, creates consistent service across the full response area, improves coordination, training, and resource sharing, maintains strong volunteer system with added staffing support. It addresses our daytime staffing gaps when volunteers are limited, and I'll break away from the presentation there. That's a huge part of what this is about. Many of the fire districts in Marion County are funded by staffed by volunteers. But in places like Mount Angel and Monitor, we have very limited volunteers during the day because most of them have jobs and they have to leave town and go somewhere. So we're going into our 5th year with an IGA working with Monitor, where that helped co-fund a training officer / firefighter. So that gets us up to 2 paid staff during the day, and then I'm half-time myself when I'm available. So that gets us to maybe 3 firefighters. For the last 10 years, we send out a page every day trying to figure out what volunteers are available each day. And it's about 2.5 volunteers that are available during the day. So that gets us up to maybe 5 people on the best day. So that's what the big thing is here, is addressing the staffing. Obviously, call volume's going up, keeps up with increase in EMS call demand, about 70% of our calls. Replaces aging fire engines and equipment on a planned schedule. When I talk about replacing fire engines and things like that, a lot of times most fire districts, Mount Angel and Monitor in the past, we would go out for a bond. When we started proposing this district, we basically built a budget and worked backwards from that. That's how we came up with the $1.97 rate. Forecasting down the road, in 2012, we passed a bond, and it was just under $1 million. That replaced 2 fire engines for us. Fast forward to today, those same fire engines are about $1 million a piece, and we expect them to be about $1.5 million a piece by 2031, 2032 when we replace them. And I'm just talking about 2 fire engines if we just stayed Mount Angel. The bond interest alone, we usually would do like a 10-year bond. The 10-year bond interest on that it comes out to about $700,000. And when I did that math, it really did not set well with me, because that is, with these little budgets, we're taking $700,000 just to pay for bond interest over that time, when that could do so much more for us. So when we built this budget for the new proposed fire district, our plan is to build a equipment replacement fund, stash about $300,000 per year in that over the next 2 years, so we can go out and buy equipment out of that budget and avoid the interest payments on it. Another thing that complicates it, if you follow the news, is the fire truck backlog. When you go to place a order for a fire truck, it may be 3 to 4 years before you see that. One of my concerns is if we don't do this and we have to move forward and pass a bond, then we know we'll have the funding and then hopefully make the order, but are we going to be able to keep up with the rising costs? So back to the proposed funding, the new tax rate of $1.97 per thousand moves both districts around the regional median. In Marion County, we have 19 different fire agencies, and I don't know how many in Clackamas County, but Mount Angel and Monitor are at the very bottom of that, with Monitor at 53 cents, and at the top of the echelon is other fire districts closer to $3 per thousand. When I look at the $1.97, it puts us just a little bit below the median. I'm calling this, when I put this together, we're calling it a 20-year funding solution. Once the equipment is paid for, once we add the third daytime firefighter in January, if this passes in November, then we would start saving money for apparatus replacement. Once we get to that threshold, NFPA recommendations are 15 years for fire engine replacements. We stretch that to 20 and 25 years because we aren't necessarily wearing them out, but they do start to age out. You start having troubles with valves and things like that, getting sticky and failing. Once we get to the threshold where we are able to replace the equipment, then we move to a fourth firefighter. And we want to get to a staffing of 4 firefighters, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we're filling in that daytime gap that our volunteers can't fill right now. I don't think I think we're all very familiar with the effects of Measure 5 and 50. And so this kind of goes into that a little bit. But this is kind of the situation, and I have these in here just because it highlights the inflation side of things and how we're not able to keep up. So in Mount Angel, the housing market, the average home is assessed value is typically much lower than the real market value due to Oregon's property tax system. In most cases, the AV is about 45 to 50% of RMV, meaning homeowners are taxed roughly half of what their home value would sell for on the open market. This occurs because assessed value is limited by state law and can only increase at a controlled rate each year, even when market values rise more quickly. As a result, property taxes are calculated on a more stable, lower value, helping keep costs more predictable over time. This slide here, this is a home that was recently for sale in Mount Angel that I grabbed and it sold, and then using the tax information from the assessor's office, that kind of paints a picture. The blue line shows the assessed value. So back in 2016, the RMV, the red line, it was about $225,000. I'm just guessing on it. But then we fast forward to 2025, that the assessed value has risen to $225,000, yet the RMV is over $400,000. So what the funding supports is daytime staff firefighters. Our plan is to add a higher level EMS, either an advanced EMT or a paramedic to our daytime staff. Volunteer recruitment and training, apparatus replacements, safety equipment and radios, facility and operations. The financial strategy, it builds reserves to pay cash for equipment, avoids bonds and interest costs, maintains conservative budgeting, improves eligibility and competitiveness for state and federal grant funding, and a reduced need to return to voters. So this is what success looks like. Improved response during peak period, that's our daytime hours, really those 8 to about 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stronger EMS capability, modern safe equipment, long-term financial stability.
When you say that this has a reduced need to return to voters, what's the longevity on that? Because there's no way you're not coming back for more money in the future.
That is our.
So that is like an amazing plan, and every district should follow it. So like I've done this, and I've seen many fire districts fail. because people don't want to pay more and they don't really understand what they're buying when they are paying. So what's the longevity on this dollar value?
I'm planning it to be a 20-year plan.
Okay.
Because, again, this passes, we add a third daytime guy. We're limiting adding staff because we don't want to have to go out. We don't want to go out and pass this and then go out and say, hey, we need a bond on top of this 2-3 years later. The plan is we move forward, we help start filling that daytime gap with a third daytime guy, and then we're going to take that revenue and start building that up and then order equipment. Our plan is to build up that revenue by 2032. We have enough that we can, and if it takes 4 years to get a fire engine still, we can now order that in 2028. It's a 20-year plan. That's what I'm calling it. So once we replace that equipment in 2032, and we're up to full staffing, I don't know what it's going to look like in 2050.
Sure. I think a 20-year plan is great.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
yeah. I mean, can we absolutely promise?
Right.
We don't have that big of a crystal ball, but this is what I'm telling the community. This is what I put the plan with the boards together, and it's our best effort going forward.
Okay. Where does your EMS support come from?
I'm
You guys have your own ambulance?
No,
Right, so who's providing,
Woodburn Ambulance
It is
Service.
Woodburn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Metro West Woodburn.
and are you having any kind of, I mean, what's the closest medic to monitor from Woodburn?
It depends on where they're staged at the time. They usually stage out at Hitz's Corner, which is a
Okay.
short drive, or Mount Angel, so it's pretty quick.
Okay,
A lot of times they beat us to the call.
okay,
Yeah, it just kind of depends on the call flow and how
Sure.
many ambulances are on shift. On the best days, when they're fully staffed, they do a really good job. They've made some massive improvements over the years, doing their own system status and trying to cover in the holes. But there are times when you're going to get back-to-back calls and there is no Woodburn ambulances available, and then you're bringing in mutual aid partners from Kaiser and Marion County and stuff like that.
are all of your paid staff dual role?
Yes. They're actually triple role.
Okay.
So, I mean, one of our paid staff is a firefighter maintenance. He takes
Okay.
care of he's the mechanic, he's the firefighter, and he's also an EMT. The other individual is a firefighter, EMT, also the training officer.
Right, of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have more than one, dual role, more than one certification, they're not just firefighters, they also do medical. Okay.
Okay. Anything else for us? We have a few more people signed up for,
Okay.
to comment.
We might bring you back.
Might bring you
Thank
back.
you.
Why don't I go to Mr. Stone next? Do you want to come and chat a little bit about? Got a lot of paper there.
He's a lawyer.
My reference library, portable reference
Look at
library.
this lawyer sitting next
I
to
love
me.
paper.
Chair Willis, Commissioner Bethel, staff, thank you very much. My name is Truman Stone. I'm an attorney with the local government law group. Our address is 975 Oak Street, Suite 700 in Eugene, 97401. Our practice, we only represent local governments. We represent about 40 cities, including a number in your county, in one county, in about 196 special districts, a bulk of which are fire districts, all from the California border to the Washington border to the Idaho border. What we have before you today is a petition for formation of a new district. It is one of those things that most counties don't see very often, if ever, although I will predict that you'll see more of these going into the future. One interesting fact that I've brought up when I talk to fire districts about merging and combining is something I came across one time, and this is from the Willamette Heritage Center off their website. It says in Marion County, Oregon, had at one time at least 144 different public school districts. The districts ranged in size from a single one-room schoolhouse to larger cities. Over time, those districts combined. Today, which was 2022, there were only 12 public school districts remaining in Marion County. And I think we're seeing that same sort of consolidation occurring now in fire and EMS, and you've heard some of the practical factors that are driving that combination. So what we have, again, before you is a petition for formation. The end result is that that matter would go to the voters, who would be the ones to determine whether they desire a new fire district to be formed at that tax rate that's proposed. But to get to the voters, there's some process in ORS Chapter 198, which brings us here today. So my goal here is to just outline what that process is from a high level, and then just answer any questions you have about that. So it began with a petition, and the petition was supported by the required economic feasibility statement, which is attached to your order today, which is the requirement that folks sit down and develop a plan, including a budgeting plan, before they petition to form a new special district. After that was prepared, because this proposed district spans 2 counties, it was required to go gather signatures of the voters to put this before you. If it were within a single county, then this county board could have instituted or initiated formation of a new district without the requirement of gathering signatures. So that's one of the unique things about a district that spans counties, is you start off asking the voters to sign the petition to even get this process started. So those signatures were gathered in a relatively short time. Very impressive that the fire districts were able to do that, certified by your clerk, and here before you today for the first of 2 hearings. And again, at the end of those 2 hearings, you decide whether to send this to the voters. There's also a parallel process going at the existing districts, and that is those district boards are initiating a dissolution process, because you cannot form a special district over territory that's already serviced by a special district providing those same services. So the end result will be 3 measures that would go to the voters, and all of them would be contingent on each other passing. So it's, should Monitor Fire District dissolve? Should Mount Angel Fire District dissolve? And should a new Mount Angel Monitor Fire District be formed? And the dissolution process is processed through those fire district boards. Commissioner Bethel, just to address your concern about the counties, special districts can span multiple counties, but the statute in 198-705 in the definitional section in subsection 17 designates a principal county, which means the county in which the district or the greater portion of the assessed value of all taxable property in the district exists. So if the county board has certain responsibilities related to special districts, and special districts span everything from water districts to ports to library districts, and fire districts being one, it would be unworkable. And the way the legislature set this up is there needs to be a principal county that takes that responsibility. So from a legal standpoint, Clackamas County would have no role in the formation of this district. I understand taking it outside the bounds of the law, there's a bigger question that you expressed about communication and cooperation and working in partnership, and I don't challenge that or dispute that at all, but I'm here to talk about the legal process,
I
and the
understand.
legal process puts it in your area of responsibility. So the decision before you under Chapter 198 is a decision after you hear public testimony of essentially two things. One is, will this territory be benefited by formation of the district? And that's a fairly broad criteria. I will say that fire protection is a priority for the state of Oregon, expressed by the legislature in multiple areas, including a fairly recent requirement now that before building code or building permits can be issued on structures subject to fire protection, that they actually receive fire protection. Also, the legislature a couple years ago in Senate Bill 1068 made it easier for existing fire districts to annex in new territory through an express annexation process instead of coming before county boards. We saw part of the reason why in this county when we had the Sandy Ann fires, where we had the fires in the Mackenzie and in Southern Oregon. And so there's a real public policy issue about making sure that structures are receiving fire protection. The criteria in 198 also references 199, which was the statute related to boundary commissions, which we no longer, well, the statute still exists, but there are no longer any boundary commissions in the state of Oregon. There hasn't been for a number of years, but if you look at the public policy that the legislature adopted in 199-410 when they found that, made that boundary commission process, they said that local programs are increasingly becoming intergovernmental, and the state's interest was orderly determination and adjustment of local government boundaries to best meet the needs of the people. That was 410 sub 1 sub C. And in 3 of that same statute, one of the purposes was to reduce fragmented approach to service delivery by encouraging single agency service delivery over delivery by several agencies. And one of the things that the chiefs didn't mention in their presentation is they have been operating together, Monitor and Mount Angel, for a number of years with shared administration and shared training and responding as essentially one fire district. So they have this history of doing this that they're now trying to formalize and create a structure that's financially sustainable into the future. So the two things is territory, can the territory be benefited, and then the county board is to determine whether the property proposed is serviceable. And so the question is, has this proposal left out any properties that should receive service, or has this proposal adopted or proposed properties that are just being brought in but can't actually practically be serviced? And in this case, that's because we're taking two existing fire districts and combining them into one. That question essentially is resolved through past history of provision of these services to these properties. We aren't adding any new additional properties that aren't already in one of these districts, and we aren't trying to carve out any. So I think that's easily answered. The other criteria is to the extent that the district covers a city, a municipality, that there needs to be consent from the city council through a resolution to formation of the district. City of Mount Angel has adopted, their city council adopted the resolution supporting this petition for formation, and that's included in the packet that came to you. So those are the criteria. There are still, as I understand, some minor adjustments that might need to be made to the legal description. What happened was my clients took the existing legal descriptions for both districts and combined them into one. There has been, and I'm not a surveyor, so there's my disclaimer, but as I understand it, there's been some standards of practice changes in the way some of these things are described. So for instance, when we submitted the preliminary description to Department of Revenue for their comments, they commented back some changes on like how the state highway was referred to or what the name of the state highway is. And so we've made some of those changes. We received some of the changes or some proposed changes from your county surveyor. I understand those were made, but that the county surveyor has some additional changes they'd like to see, but we haven't seen those yet. But we commit to working with the county surveyor to get the description exactly right for two purposes. One is to determine which territories in this district and make sure that we have the proper voter roll for the question to be presented. And then a parallel but equally important issue is getting it approved through the Department of Revenue to have authority to levy taxes against these specific properties in the future. And with that, those are my comments, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you have.
Does the ask in November and today, are you asking us to move forward to the voters the combining of the districts or the combining and the set rate that you're proposing?
So it's a single question as 198 describes it. So it's a question, should the district be formed at the tax rate of
$1.97.
97, yeah.
Has there been any polling, especially on monitor residents and ratepayers, since they're going to be paying $1.47 more per thousand in their pallet for that?
The chiefs might be able to answer that. My understanding is there hasn't been any official polling, but there's been a series of communications, stakeholder meetings, discussion with the community. Now, that doesn't mean everybody is aware of that. But also, just even to get here today, we were required to post notice in the paper of this hearing. So there are some.
I will be the last person to be convinced that anybody reads public notice postings in the newspaper. I use it to start my fireplace.
I understand.
Never once read one, but I know we have to do it by law, which is why we don't do the minimum here in Marion County.
They are online now, so you can see them online. You don't even need to get a paper.
Jim, can you come back up and tell me about the conversation? And you can come over there. You can stay.
Yeah.
Just help me understand, because I just read through the board meeting, the combined board meeting minutes, where you suggest in September last year that it would be between $1.75 and $2 per thousand, and you settled on $1.97. I don't have any documentation that shows me as to why you got to that rate. So what's the foundation that you're sharing with the community? I understand the why.
Yep.
But tell me how you got there and what their feelings are.
So again, what we did is basically built out the plan. What would it cost to fund this? The real magic number that works across Oregon is probably about $2.43.
Okay.
That's too big of an ask. So we went back, and that's why we're coming up with that multi-layered deal. We're not asking for everything at once. We're going to slowly add staffing, build those reserves. So in the conceptual budget I built, that's how we built that budget out and came back at the $1.97. trying to stay under $2 because, you know, the Mount Angel one is a $1.0146, and so we're adding 96 cents to that as well. But
Did you watch the state and fire district?
I watched them all.
And how do you feel about the success?
I
or lack
actually feel
thereof?
really good about it, to be honest, because even though we had to go out and gather, 800, we gathered over 1,100 signatures,
Okay,
and I had very little bad feedback.
but is that in Clackamas County or Marion County?
Both counties, and I could probably defer on the monitor side, probably bring up John, and he could, because they had community meeting, John Vandecouvering, the board president, and also one of the lead petitioners. But they did a lot of groundwork out there talking with the community. They held community meetings at the fire station and stuff like that. So everything that I was hearing just out in that community to myself is very positive. The Mount Angel side, extremely positive. Are people signing it that may vote no because they don't want to go against the grain? It's always possible, but I do feel really good about it, especially going through the hoops of gathering those signatures, because we had very little negative feedback on it.
What's the plan if it fails in November because people don't like the rate?
That's it could create some problems, because right now one of the training officer position is co-funded between Mount Angel and Monitor has a 50-cent levy to help offset some of that, as well as our operational costs. That expires in I believe 2027. So
Yeah.
if Monitor loses that 50-cent levy they have now and goes back to 53 cents, we may have to reduce down to one person.
Okay. Is anyone else coming up to talk, to share
Yep.
their perspective? I'll
Yep.
wait to ask the rest of my questions until the petitioners can share.
Okay.
If I could just add, these are kind of a unique animal in the law, and I've been very appreciative and impressed with your county staff in working through this when they're presented something that's completely new to them, and specifically the clerk's office and your county counsel's office, who have, I will just say, I deal with county counsel's offices all across the state, and it is rare to find one that has been so responsive and so customer service oriented and working together towards trying to get this before you for these hearings, and I just really appreciate that.
That's really helpful.
It is actually really great to hear.
Before you go, how has been your interaction with the surveyor's office? Is that office getting you what you need? You talked a little bit about that. I'm just sort of curious.
I
I
haven't
assume
had
that's
any
a-
direct communication. I've been
Okay.
working through county counsel's office.
Okay.
And my understanding is there's some concerns that they've identified, but they haven't yet transmitted those through county council to us. And so I'm not sure how large those concerns are. I presume they're going to be easily addressed. But we're kind of waiting for that.
Steve, is this something that the board can give direction to?
We can give
surveyor's
direction,
office?
we received a legal memo. I'm not sure what we can talk about outside of that legal memo yet.
So you have authority to give direction. The law says that the county surveyor only works for the county and can't do work specifically for a private party. And in this case, since the board is called upon to set the boundaries, if the board chose, you could have the surveyor work on this. Obviously, the surveyor is already assisting and has been providing feedback in coordination with our office.
I just want to make sure that whatever decisions need to be made, they're being made by the right people, the voters ultimately.
And that the appropriate people are included in the boundary. My biggest concern is what properties. And I'm not convinced that we have an appropriate map.
So what happens if there's not, the map isn't right? And by what time does the map need to be right, I guess would be my question.
We need to get the map right by the second hearing.
Right.
And when is that?
It's July 27th.
Yeah, depending on what you so set, you could theoretically continue this hearing if you wanted to move that out. But once you get into August, you start running up against deadlines for things like ballot title.
And so if they don't have a map that's right by that time, then that would frustrate.
That would be a
the
problem.
process to go forward.
There's a statute that I think contemplates like minor technical errors.
But also imagine if you were on a map and then you received a bill in the future.
Yes.
And
Right.
you didn't get to vote on that.
Right, that'd be a problem.
Yes.
Right.
And that could result potentially in invalidating the election. So it's my very strong advice is we need to get it right by the second hearing.
Okay, that's helpful.
That is my understanding.
Okay.
If I could just address that. So I've worked on a number of these now, and the challenge in every single one of them has been the legal description. And I think to the extent, if you took a close look at your county boundaries, you would probably find some issues. Things go along for a long time until somebody takes a look at those. But I agree, we need to get these correct. There is, however, in Chapter 478, a savings provision that says that a fire district form will not be invalidated due to issues with meets and bounds that don't substantially affect the district. We don't want to rely on that. I have had experience where we did have to rely on that in other counties. We commit to not having that fall back, but just for a complete picture, that is built within the legislative enactment.
Yeah, and if I could, I think, Truman, you'd be willing to commit now that whatever changes our county surveyor needs, you're willing to make those happen, right?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, really, the statute ultimately empowers you as the
Right.
board to set these boundaries.
Andrew
So-
and Steve sent a really great memo, and I read it twice. I'm very clear on what I can do and cannot do in this
Yeah.
situation. And also, I live in this county, and these people are my neighbors, and I will not be comfortable until we have a very clear map that says, I'm paying for this or I'm not paying for this, because I see them at Safeway.
Okay, thank
Understood.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next I'm going to call up Phil and John. Why don't you come and introduce yourself? Share a little bit about why this is important to you.
I'm Phil Wiesner. I'm board president of Mount Angel Fire District. I live at 11010 Saratoga Drive, Northeast Salem, Oregon, 97305. And this, as you people know from funding counties and funding fire districts, it's not a lot different as far as with the property tax situation. And it's becoming increasingly harder to come up with a balanced budget and still provide the services that are needed by our constituents. And and both our districts have had similar findings, and we've worked together on some solutions, and been working together, and then we came to this conclusion that it was probably time for us to unite. And they're very similar districts as far as the makeup of the community, the people in them, and they've been cooperating for decades already, one way or another. And it seemed like a good marriage. And to answer your question concerning, no official polling, but just the coming up with that many petitions, signatures in such a short time across both districts is phenomenal. I don't know that many districts could pull that off. And it just speaks to the support both communities have for their fire districts. Both fire districts have been very good over the past several decades, producing what we say we're going to produce for what the amount of money we have. and giving the community what they want and listening to them. And it's been very supportive, this whole plan out on the streets. Concerning Commissioner Bethel's concern about Clackamas County has been in the know on this from the beginning. They're not actively involved in it because of the statutes. But they have been, at the very beginning of this, they were involved in knowing about it.
When you say they, who do you mean?
The county, and all the districts that are in Clackamas County. The list you have as an evidence is all those districts were communicated with that this was going on. But even in the beginning, our chief, and he could speak more to that, had conversations with Clackamas County concerning this possibility and how it would work and who's involved and who isn't involved.
I do know that the Board of Commissioners wasn't fully apprised,
And
because
so-
I just spoke to a commissioner that was completely side-blinded by me coming to
Yeah.
this public hearing today, and that's not here nor there. I
Yeah.
just work really hard to maintain partnerships.
Right. Well,
And-
communications can break down. We all know this, but notices are given and people are talked to. And so I guess what I want to say, it wasn't ignored. And, but as far as, which I think is a fabulous idea, as far as, invitation out there to the hearing, subsequent hearing, I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm not belittling that at all. I just said, this wasn't done in secret or in a tunnel or anything. And it's a survival sort of thing. And with the 20-year plan that Chief has developed, it's believed that we can give what we say we're going to give in that length of time. But as he said, there's no 100% guarantee. We never know what's going to happen in Salem. We never know what's going to happen in Washington, D.C. We don't know what's going to happen in the economy. We can only predict. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, my name is John Vanderkoevering. I'm a resident of Clackamas County. I live on Barlow Road. I'm the board president for Monitor Fire Board. I've been on the board 15 years. And this is not a half-baked idea that we're presenting to you. About 4 years ago, we had to initiate a levy to operate. It's one of the things, we cannot lay off people. We don't have people. We're all volunteers. And at 53 cents, you can't pay the electric bill. At 53 cents, you can't buy the air tanks on the fireman's back. That's $1,000 a year per person. Our operating costs, all of our revenue goes toward operating and keeping our volunteers safe. So over the last 2 years, we have been active between the two departments. We formed a committee and met numerous times in Mount Angel to develop this plan. I personally went out and got signatures. I think I got 80-some signatures myself, just explaining to our patrons several things. A number of our volunteers are in their 60s. And at some point, you can't keep up the difficult task of doing that. We do have some younger volunteers, but we looked out and looked at Mount Angel as being very much like Monitor. Pretty much volunteers. They do have several staff. And we want to maintain a volunteer active community. And you think about the cost of a fire department. If you had to have a 24/7 paid staff, we wouldn't be talking about $1.97. We'd be talking about $4.97 or more, to have a staff that would respond. So we will continue to be volunteers. That's our intent. We talk to our patrons, and if this fails, you asked, we have to have a levy to cover our costs. So it's not about, oh, I don't want to pay the tax. It's, do you want to have a fire department?
I think the question that I have is that you, 4 years ago, went out for a 50-ish cent levy to cover operations costs, and you got that. And you had a conversation with your community and monitor that supported that. And now you're asking them to pay $1.47 more.
No. We're at 53 cents with a 50-cent levy. So we're at $1.03 effectively.
Oh, total.
Yes. So we're
That is not what the
asking to
paperwork
pay
says.
94 cents more.
Okay. My paperwork says something different. But so you're essentially asking them to pay about 94 cents or 92 cents more.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's much less of a jump than what I was expecting for your neighbors to have to pay.
And when we went out for the levy, I believe we passed somewhere in the 70%, upper 70 percentile of people voting to support our fire department. And part of the message going out is, do you want to have local control of your fire emergency services? And that's part of it.
And I bet they overwhelmingly said yes. I support them in that.
So we've been working on this for a long time, and Mount Angel's been great to work with. You know, because putting two departments together, like anything else, you've got to work and train. But we've been doing this now for 4 years with a relationship with Mount Angel. We participate in the upstaffing program. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but we don't hire people in Monitor, so we get the upstaffing grant for Monitor, and we turn it to Mount Angel to do the hiring and staffing of that upstaffing grant.
That's great.
So it's been something that's worked well.
Are you related to Fred Van Hoovering?
Am I related to Fred Van Hoovering?
Yeah.
That depends.
Are you related to Stephen Wiesner?
Is he your local
Steven?
UPS driver?
No, he comes and chats with us every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Yes, he's my younger brother.
He's your younger brother. Very good. There you go.
That's funny.
There's lots of family relations on both sides of the
Well,
Clackamas-Marion County
Oh, yes.
border.
Well, and obviously the more east you get of Lancaster or Cordon Road, they're all related in some way.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. I suppose if you go back far enough, we're all related in some way or another. Okay. I don't have anybody else signed up. Did you get to say everything you wanted to say?
Yes. Do you have
Okay.
any questions?
I feel like we gave you our questions, so thank you for coming. I know this is a big chunk of time for you, so I appreciate you being here and explaining it to us.
Thank you.
Let's see. Do you want to hear anything else, Steve? Do you feel like that's sufficient? Okay. In that case, I'm not seeing anybody else signed up for public comments, so I will close this public hearing, and I will move to consider approval of an order to adopt the findings and approve the petition for the formation of the Mount Angel Monitor Fire District.
Nope, we do that at the second.
I'm not doing that.
So there's two options in your packet.
And while I see the two options, it is unclear as to what you want us to do with those options, so.
I defer to the board. If you want my recommendation, I would.
Can I, hold on,
Yep.
before we, Steve, what action do we need to take for there to be a second hearing? I think that's the most, for this process to continue, tell us what action needs to occur for this process to continue.
And also, before you answer that, we need to decide who's going to formalize the map. and give direction either to have the district do that through a formal process where they go out and hire a surveyor and form an actual map that we feel good with, or we give direction for our surveyor to do that under our.
Yes, I know we have to deal with that. I want to hear what, I read the action item that was written on my document, and I was told that was not the correct action item. So I need you to tell me what the action is that
Yeah.
this board needs to take so that this process can continue.
So in the packet that looks like this, there's tabs 1 and 2.
Okay,
There's 2 board order options for you.
okay,
The first board order option, the motions are very, very similar, and they cover what's needed. The first option relies on the boundaries proposed by petitioner, obviously with the understanding that there will probably need to be a few more adjustments that would be made at the second hearing.
okay,
The second option does not include exhibits with the proposed map and the proposed legal description, and instead just says that the boundary will be the same as the combination of the Mount Angel Fire District and the Monitor Fire District, and it basically punts the legal description to the second hearing. Either way, at the second hearing, we're going to have to confirm the specific legal boundary before it moves forward.
okay. So, I now understand why, Commissioner Bethel, you said that the actual way to talk about is this legal boundary issue. I'll just say my opinion. I am concerned that if our surveyor is not involved in helping these folks make sure the map is right, that they could hire a surveyor, they could produce a map, they could think that it's right, it comes to our surveyor, he rejects that, and then we're out of time to actually help them do what they want to do.
I concur.
So I need you to tell, given what Commissioner Butler just said, I need you to tell us what is the process by which we can basically direct our surveyor to work with them to make sure that the map is right before the next hearing.
It's my preference to go with option 2, and then for
Okay.
us, in a secondary action, to give direction to our surveyor
To
to
do
do
that.
what we want him to do.
Is that okay?
I think that would be legally sufficient.
Okay,
yes.
let's do that.
Great.
Give me that
I don't know
motion.
how to do that because I don't know what I'm reading off of this order.
So the proposed motion is here,
Oh, perfect.
just the page right in front of that.
I'll just read this one.
Okay.
All right, I move to adopt an order finding that pursuant to ORS 198805 and ORS 199462, the proposed area comprising the proposed district could be benefited by the formation of the district if approved by the voters. The name of this proposed district will be the Mount Angel Monitor Fire District. The boundary of this proposed district will be consistent of the currently existing Mount Angel Fire District boundary, combined with the currently existing Monitor Fire District boundary, and pursuant to ORS 1988102, and that the second required public hearing on this petition be set for Monday, July 27th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Mount Angel Fire District located at 300 Monroe Street, Mount Angel, Oregon 97362.
I'll second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Okay, so we've adopted that, and then we will work with our surveyor to make sure that,
We will work with Andrew and our surveyor and the chief to make sure that before July 27th or by July 27th, a map comes
The
to
map
us
is
that we
correct.
feel good with and our surveyor says is it.
okay,
To take the burden off of the districts.
okay. Steve, do we need to do anything else on this item?
Not today.
Okay, then gentlemen, thank you for being here. You can stay if you want, we have another item, or you can leave, whatever your preference is, but I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
It's nice to meet you.
Okay, next up, we're going to consider a public hearing to consider noise variance case number 26-001 GK Machines Incorporated.
I managed to
Hey,
lose
John.
my agenda.
Morning, Commissioners.
For the record, this is John Speckman, Marion County Planning. This application was withdrawn yesterday. Due to the weather forecasted for this weekend, the band will not be playing outside. So I am here to explain that and answer any questions. We noticed this hearing, and so we must open it. GK Machine applied.
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
I'm opening a public hearing to consider noise variance case number 26-001, GK Machine Incorporated.
Oh,
Carry on.
thank you, Commissioner. For the record, again, John Speckman, Marion County Planning, 5155 Silverton Road. And this application was withdrawn yesterday afternoon due to the weather forecasted for this weekend. I'm here to explain and answer any questions. GK Machine applied for a noise variance to allow music exceeding the noise ordinance between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. on June 27, 2026, at the site of the new GK Machine headquarters at 20495 Butteville Road Northeast. This music will be part of an open house event hosted by GK Machine to celebrate their new headquarters, which are located just south of the city of Donald. The application was submitted on May 20th, 2026, more than 35 days before the event, as required by Marion County Code 8.45.090B. All property owners within 1,500 feet of the subject property were mailed notice of the hearing. The plan was for a band to play music on a temporary stage positioned at the southeastern side of the main building, close to the parking area. This location of the temporary stage would have directed sound to the southeast, away from the city of Donald, where most of the dwellings are located that could be impacted by the sound of music from this event. Due to forecasted rain on June 27th, the applicant has moved the band indoors. The noise produced by a band playing indoors between the hours of 5 and 10 p.m. does not require a noise variance, so the applicants have withdrawn their application. And I can stand for any questions you may have.
Given that this has been withdrawn, I don't know if there's anything for us to
I
consider
think you
here.
just have to state whether there's any public comment or not.
No one has signed up for public comment. Do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay, this hearing is adjourned.
Thank you, Commissioners.
And is there anything else for the good of the order? Okay, then this meeting is adjourned.